After the Dodgers won the World Series in 1965, they had 16 unsuccessful seasons until they won the World Championship again. Finally, the Dodgers in 1981 earned that championship, and pitcher Burt Hooton had a lot to do with it. Bert joins us today from his home in Texas. Wonderful to see you.
Good to see you, Ross.
Now, Bert, you pitched in the major leagues for 15 seasons, 9.5 of those years with the Dodgers. You were with the Dodgers from 1975 to 1984. And those were your most productive years when you look at your career. To show how effective you were with the Dodgers, you pitched in 322 games, almost 1,900 innings, and you had an impressive earned run average of 3.14. How do you look back at those years?
Well, they're probably the most productive because I was there longer than anywhere else, and blessed to be able to do that. Of course, the Dodgers. When I left the Cubs, I started with the Cubs, and I always looked at those years as they wanted to do better next year. They wanted to play 500. They wanted to do that. And almost immediately when I got to the Dodgers, it wasn't any of those things. It was about winning and winning a World Series. So we always have those kinds of goals in the back of our mind, but when you actually get with a team where that's their main focus is winning a World Series, and especially coming from a team that just wanted to do better than the year before, it was a big jump and a big difference. And of course, the O'Malleys, with their family atmosphere, it was very easy to play there, very easy to want to do your best there, very easy to want to win a World Series for the O'Malley family, if not for the fans.
Bert, you were a winner all along the way. You won a state high school championship in Corpus Christi. You were a three-time All-American at the University of Texas. You're in the Texas Baseball Hall of Fame, the College Baseball Hall of Fame. And friends, Burt Hooton never played a day in the minor leagues. After he was drafted by the Chicago Cubs, in his fourth major league start, he pitched a no-hitter against the Philadelphia Phillies. Bert, how important was it for you to play college baseball to get ready?
Uh, well, playing at the University of Texas, again, I was in an environment where the expectations were winning a College World Series every year, and I was blessed with you know just a great amount of talent. I mean, I was baseball wise maybe more mature than a lot of other folks, and I could had a good fastball, and of course my curveball was my signature pitch, and I could always throw strikes. So I mean, and I think I tell everybody even to this day, one of the biggest things I miss about not playing is the competition. I loved competing, and that goes back to when I was a young little kid. I mean, I grew up in a neighborhood that had a lot of older kids, and we always played baseball at the end of the park, and I had no problems playing with them, and I always wanted to play with them. And sure, I got beat a lot, but I never shied away from that. I wanted another crack at them because I wanted to solve the puzzle. How do you beat those guys? And once I solved it, they never beat me again. So, and I just grew up with that mental attitude, and it carried through in high school, carried through in college, and when I walked on a mound, I was ready to go. Let's play.
You came to the Dodgers from the Cubs on May the 2nd, 1975, in a trade for pitchers Jeff Zahn and Eddie Solomon. Even though you had missed the first month of the season with the Dodgers, you went on to win 18 games that year. You lost only 7, and you won your last 12 games. Talk about that winning streak. It was at the end of the year, wasn't it?
It was at the end of the year. I look at it this way: anybody's capable of getting on a roll, and I happened to get on a roll, and of course, playing with a good team always helps. But it's like you get in a zone, and thankfully that zone lasted about 2 months, maybe a little over 2 months. And that's one of those things it's a rare occurrence, rare, but when you get on that wave, you want to ride it as long as you can, and that's the way I look at it. It was a lot of fun, a lot of support. You know, 1975 coming to the Dodgers helped turn my career around. I mean, I was kind of treading water with the Cubs, and uh, just to be able to do that, and of course being there with Walter Alston and Tommy was there, Tommy Lasorda was there, and just the encouragement that everybody gave me, and to get on a roll like that was you know kind of unexplainable.
Was it the 12th game of that winning streak you told me about one time it came right down to the ninth inning?
Well, I had a 1-0 lead going into the ninth inning. I can't remember how many outs there were, but Cliff Johnson came up, and I got an 0-2 count on him, and probably the dumbest pitch I made the whole streak. Threw him a changeup. I don't know why I threw him a changeup. That's my third best pitch, and on an 0-2 count, he hit it out for a 2-run homer to put me behind 2-1. And lo and behold, if we didn't go to the bottom of the ninth inning and had a runner on base and Steve Garvey up, and Steve Garvey hit a 2-run homer to win the game, 3-2. So that's how I won my 12th in a row.
Wow. In 1977, you led the Dodger pitching staff in strikeouts, and you went to your first World Series against the Yankees. In game two, you were outstanding. You allowed only 5 singles in the ball game. You retired 14 of the last 15 batters to face you. You won it 6-1. What was it like for you to pitch in a World Series game?
Well, I mean that's the reason you play, and that's your goal. But I've got to kind of back up a little bit on that and qualify that. My previous game was the disaster in Philadelphia when I blew up in about the third inning because I thought I was throwing strikes and the umpire had different opinions, and I lost my cool, and there were 60,000 some odd thousand people in Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, and they latched on to me, and I couldn't hear myself think. And next thing I know, I started the game with good stuff. I felt good. I felt like I was good, and then just things went south quickly. And next thing I know, I was taking a shower in about the third inning. So we eventually won that series. We and then went to the Yankee World Series. And I knew as soon as I walked on the field, the Yankee fans were going to be all over me. So I spent a couple of days getting myself mentally prepared for that, and got myself in a pretty good zone. And I felt like the only way I could shut them up is to start pitching well. And lo and behold, didn't start going right for me. And by the fourth inning, they were off of me. And
Yeah.
then I ended up pitching that complete game.
A year later, you won 19 games for the Dodgers, got to the World Series again, and you finished second in the 1978 National League Cy Young Award behind Gaylord Perry. 3 years then went by before you appeared in your third World Series, but that was, I think, probably the best season of your career. You made the National League All-Star team, and when the playoffs began, the Dodgers faced the Astros in the best-of-5 division series. Houston won the first 2 games, and it was up to you to save the season. In game 3, Burt Hooton held the Astros to 3 hits in 7 innings. The Dodgers not only won that one, but the next 2 as well to stay alive. Pressure time for you?
Well, when you got your back up against the wall, I don't know that there's a lot of pressure. It's kind of like everybody's resigned themselves to the fact that we're going to lose and go home. I didn't quite resign myself to that fact. And sometimes it's difficult to beat somebody who doesn't have anything to lose. And I kind of figured, well, don't have anything to lose. I can relax and go pitch. And I feel like that helped me out. That mindset helped me out a whole lot. I mean, they're the ones that have to beat me, and I can relax and go right after them. So, that was my whole mindset basically throughout the playoffs.
Montreal's Expos were next in the best of five, again, National League Championship Series. You got the game start in number one. Brilliant outing. You yielded no runs in 7 and the third innings, and you won it. However, the Expos came back. They won games 2 and 3. So the Dodgers were again on the brink of elimination, a must-win game 4 in Montreal. I didn't really remember this until last night, Bert. You only had a 3-day rest, but you got the call. Were you surprised?
And well, I didn't recall that either right now. I don't remember. I was ready to go. I mean, it was, I mean, are you sure it was 3 days? There should have been an off day in there somewhere.
It was an off
Three
day,
days
but
rest.
he
But no,
pitched
I mean, that didn't bother me at all.
yeah,
That,
pitched on the 13th of October, and then
right.
he didn't pitch again until the 17th, but it was only 3 days off.
No, that didn't bother me at all. I wasn't. In fact, you sit around, you kind of expect it.
Well, once again, you pitched 7 and a third innings. You allowed 1 unearned run. The Dodgers won, and of course, the next day they clinched the pennant. You were voted the most valuable player in the National League Championship Series, having not given up an earned run in 2 games. Then, in the 1981 World Series against the Yankees, the Dodgers were 1 victory away from the World Championship when you went to the mound in Game 6 at Yankee Stadium. Another superb effort, resulting in a triumph, and the Dodgers achieved their first title in 16 years. How important was Burt Hooton to the Dodgers in 1981? Well, folks, he made 5 starts in the postseason and won 4 games. Bert, as you look back on your fine career, was the 1981 postseason the best you ever pitched, or was it during the 12-game winning streak?
Well, I always tell everybody I felt like my best season pitching was 1977 when I only won 12 games. I think I had 15 no decisions that year, and I forget what my ERA was that year. It was in the twos, but and I felt like I ran pitched deep into pretty many all of those ball games. And of course, you don't always get the win, but I felt like pitching wise, that was my best season. Maybe ahead of the 18-game win season, the 19-game win season, but also to start off 1981, I started off the season 7-0, and that was Fernando Mania year when he started off 8-0. But I enjoyed that because Fernando was getting all the press and all of and then I could finish my game, have my beer, and go home. So.
Whenever you pitched, those of us who were announcing the game would always talk about your knuckle curveball. Give us the history of that pitch, when you began using it, and how it all came about.
Well, 14 years old I was in 1964. That's back when they had one baseball game a week on the game of the week on Saturday, and it's Pee Wee Reese and Dizzy Dean, and I'm sitting there watching it a Saturday afternoon, and Hoyt Wilhelm's pitching, and they go on and on about Hoyt Wilhelm's knuckleball, how he puts his knuckles down on it, how he pushes it out, and there's never any spin on it, and it's a difficult pitch to catch and hit. So I was always an experimenter, and I had a pony league practice that afternoon. So I got there early, and I was playing catch with somebody, and I decided to try to throw a knuckleball, not knowing that when you actually throw a knuckleball, it's you dig your fingertips into it, not your knuckles. But I put my knuckles down on the ball, taking them literally. It's a knuckleball. And I heard him say, you push it out. So I started pushing it out, but never could get it to knuckle. It always had a forward rotation on it. And, I was a natural thrower. I always had good, good form, good delivery, good arm action. And, I just tried to toy with it as much as I could, looking for, a pitch that didn't spin. And the more I threw it, the more it spun. And the harder I threw it, the faster it would spin. Then all of a sudden it started curving, started breaking. Not knowing what I had at the time. So I just finally went, what the heck? That's my knuckleball. I'm gonna start pitching with it. So I started pitching with it and nobody could hit it. And it became my curveball. So I had that at 14 years of age. And of course, through high school and through college, and that was my curveball for my career.
Well, a knuckle curveball, according to some studies I did last night, and I want you to go through this and tell me if this is correct. The knuckle curveball is a deceptive pitch that combines a slow curveball like break with unpredictable movement to throw it. The index finger is bent at the first knuckle, resting against the ball's surface. The middle finger usually lies along one of the seams, while the thumb provides support from underneath. This grip allows for a snap of the wrist during release, generating the necessary top spin for the pitch to break effectively. True or false?
That's foreign to me. I put two fingers down on the seams and I pushed it out straight over the top. What you're describing to me is what I call a spiked curveball. And I think Don Sutton threw a spiked curveball. He would dig his index finger in it and throw it like a conventional curveball. Mine, I never threw it. It wasn't anywhere close to a conventional curveball. It came out of the same slot as my fastball. My fastball had a four seam backspin on it. My curveball had a four seam forward spin on it. And it was all in the way I threw it. My hand was actually behind the ball, not going around the ball or over the ball. So mine's a true knuckle curve because I had my knuckles, both knuckles down on the ball, and that's how I generated the rotation on it. And it was a hard pitch. It was a hard curveball. There was nothing slow about it. I wanted to spin it as fast as I could. And with my delivery, the idea was to get it down there as close to the hitter as I could before it broke. And hopefully he'd already committed to it by the time just before it broke. Does
Did
that
the
explain
knuckle
it to
curve
you?
did the knuckle curve travel faster than a curveball would?
I think mine did. Yeah. I threw it hard. I threw, I wanted hitters reacting to it, not seeing it.
Yeah. Now, did the well-known knuckleball pitchers throw knuckle curves? Because I'm trying to determine here. You've used the word knuckleball a lot. Did the Negro brothers and people like that throw knuckle curves as well, or were
No,
they
no.
straight knuckleball pitchers?
If they tried to throw it the way I threw it, it'd mess up their knuckleball. Charlie Huff never threw a knuckle curveball. He couldn't throw it anyway. We played catch a lot together. And he tried to teach me his knuckleball, and I never could throw his knuckleball. And I tried to teach him his my curveball, and he never could throw my curveball. Plus, I think if he tried, it might mess up his knuckleball. But no, they're two totally different pitches.
The Dodgers had a couple of knuckleball pitchers. You mentioned Hoyt Wilhelm. Tom Candiotti was another one.
Uh-huh. And Charlie, don't forget Charlie.
That's well, Charlie, you mentioned, yeah. Bert, after you retired as a player in 1985, you became a pitching coach. I had you down for 6 minor league teams, 3 years back at the University of Texas, and looking at all over 25 years between 1988 and 2013. Those must have been fun times for you.
Well, they were, yeah. I mean, it was a ton of fun. I actually started off in Salem, Oregon, a short season A League for the Dodgers. I was sitting at home one day and finishing up my college degree, actually, and the phone rang. It was Charlie Blaney asking if I would be interested in going to Salem, Oregon for a short season A League, just see how I like coaching. And I never did anything without Ginger say so. So I talked to her and she said, yeah, let's go try it out. So I went to Salem, Oregon in 1988 and went back in 1989. And then they kept asking me if I wanted to. I got a broadcast journalism degree. Actually, what I was going to do, they were asking me what I was going to do, and I told them, well, I'd like to continue coaching, but the short season A League may be way below my expertise. I'd like to go to a little bit more mature level. And the Double A team for the Dodgers just happened to be here in San Antonio, and they moved me up to San Antonio, which I thought was is a really good fun league because you got guys who are coming into the league, and this is where they learn. This is where they learn to compete against the better ball players than what they've been competing against in A ball or low A ball. So I spent 5 years here in San Antonio before they wanted to move me up to AAA. They moved me up to Albuquerque, and I spent 2 years there. So before I went to the University of Texas, but yeah, I mean that's the next best thing from playing is being able to coach young people, and I had some good ones along the way, and it was a lot of fun.
Roger Clemens was one of them, right?
Well, not in the minor leagues. I had him in the big leagues with the Astros.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
What do you
Pedro
teach? What do
Martinez,
you
I
teach?
got.
What do you teach Roger Clemens?
Well, I just get out of his way. That's the kind of guy you get out of his way. Try to keep him in what his boundaries are. But I had Pedro Martinez. I had guys. You know, there were. He was the best. I had him in Double A when he was about 19 years old, and you know, when I was with the Astro organization, I had Dallas Keuchel, and names aren't coming to me right now, but Ishmael Valdez I had with the Dodgers. I had several others that made it and did real well.
Bert, what were the key points that you tried to get across to the young pitchers?
Well, for those younger guys, I always told everybody my biggest job was deprogramming them because coming out of amateur ball, you wouldn't believe some of the stuff that they were fed. And to me, it made things a whole lot more difficult. And my job was to kind of get things a lot simpler for them. And you watch them and you find out what the scout saw in them, and you try to build on that, and you know help them get control of that and their emotions and their competitiveness. And it's like Rome wasn't built in a day. You got to be patient with them and teach them patience. And it's like patience is nowadays I think they want it a lot quicker than what we spent time doing learning. You learn to master your pitches, and you can't do it in a day. So that's tried to get all of that across to them. And I couldn't believe some of the stuff I was hearing that their coaches told them, and I said, I pitched 15 years. I never heard anything like what he just told me.
Did those pitchers have one negative habit that you advised them to either correct or change?
Well, I mean, a lot of kids with good stuff think they're going to throw stuff by big league hitters, and the big thing is you've got to teach them to control it. I mean, I've seen hitters hit 100-mile-an-hour fastballs out of the ballpark if it was in the middle of the plate. So you teach them how to pitch, and most of them hadn't been taught how to pitch yet. So and you look on the positive side. If you've got a curveball that's really really good and you can't throw it for a strike, it's no good to you. I mean, and that was one of the things that they had a hard time learning. And if you've got a fastball that's 95 to 100, and you throw too many of them down the middle, that's no good to you. So you've got to get control and command of it, and that takes time.
Bert, you had quite a career. How long have you and Ginger been married?
52 years. We're in our 53rd year.
Good for you. Well, Lynn sends her blessings to both of you, and I want to
Well,
thank
Ginger,
you.
likewise. Tell Lynn hi. She's
Thank
doing
you.
okay? Say she's
We've been
doing
married.
okay?
We're 64 years into our marriage, so we're
Good.
still going. But
Congratulations. Wonderful.
yeah, but thank you for sharing all of this today, and may you and Ginger continue to have a healthy life.
Well, you do the same. It's great seeing you. And let's stay
You
in touch.
too. You
Okay.
too. Thanks,
Thanks,
Bert.
boss. Uh-huh. Bye.